Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
Okay.
morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay. Right. Today we will discuss a design of pipe-based system for carrying storm water. Okay. So this material I have prepared from Butler book. So you can also find this book. You can freely download it. So let us have a broad understanding first. Okay. Uh, Designing those things are different, but a overall picture, you should have this overall picture in your mind, right? So this is the overall picture. So let us say this is the uh, urban area for which you are designing the drainage network, storm drainage network, right? So it will be like this, and we have a, let us say, have a rainfall. If it is in a northern side pole area, so snowfall is also there, a rainfall, and this collected rainfall have some pollution when it flow over the land. There are some waste material over the land. It will mix with water, and then the drainage, even the storm water also have some pollutants, right? So therefore, all this will be collected here, right? and and there are storage also. This is overland flow, and this is the storage, means a depression storage, as I said. So to minimize the peak of the hydrograph, we have underground storage and overground storages. So that storage water also, so it will be, see, there are two links. So surface water, okay, it will be collected and it will be sent to the storage, or from the storage also it will come to this point. If the pollutant levels in this storm water are within the limit, it will be directly diverted to the river, and it will be directly diverted to the river. Okay. If the pollutants are not within the limit, it will send to the treatment plant, and that drainage water, storm water, will be treated here, and after reaching the desirable levels, then it will be again diverted to the river, right? So this is the overall picture, right? So here the rain and the overland flow, and from there it will go to storage, and it from storage also it will come to here. Either it will be directly directed, I mean diverted to the river, or it will go to the treatment plant, and from there it will be diverted to the river, right? So what is our I mean our work is, here we have to design these pipes, where we have to keep the pipe, what should be the diameter of the pipe, what should be the longitudinal slope of the pipe, okay? And these things we have to design in our urban drainage system, okay? So therefore, as I said, what is the length of the pipe, diameter of the pipe, and the slope of the longitudinal slope of the pipe, okay? So to design these things, what is the input to the system? I mean, rainfall, okay, and then land use, land cover, okay, and then elevation. I mean, you should have a contour map of this area, that is uh, elevations. What is the level at different points? Okay, that is another input. Okay, and as I said, for any analysis, your boundary is not just the municipal boundary or a city boundary. Your boundary is the catchment boundary. Okay. So therefore, if your catchment is let us say up to this area, you have to consider the entire catchment area, because the rain falling on the upper catchment will also come into the city, because if city and nearer to the outlet of that catchment, okay, so the water will pass through the city and it will reach to the through the outlet, right? So therefore, your boundary is entire catchment, not the uh, urban area boundary or municipal area boundary, but your design of this network is in the urban areas. Okay, and what should be the impervious area? What should be the pervious area? Where we have to lift the water, where we have to, flow the water using the gravity. So all those things we have to design, right? So that is for that one. For designing, uh, you have to calculate the runoff. Okay, so the runoff can be calculated using different methods. There are a number of empirical formulas are there, number of conceptual models also there. Okay, using those methods you will calculate the runoff. Okay, and to remove the entire overland flow from the city, you have to design your pipe network. So that is the overall picture. What is an urban hydrologist will do is, this is the our work, right? So let us see some of the concepts in designing of this stormwater drainage system. So all storm sewer network physically connect stormwater inlet points, right, to a discharge point or outfall by a series of continuous and unbroken pipes. Okay, so that is all storm sewer networks or surface water sewer networks physically connect. So it will connect each other, right, to a inlet point. Okay, from road gullies. Okay, as I said, the if you see the sides of the road, we have a inlet points. So whatever the water collected over the road, it will go to the inlet point, and then from the inlet point it will go to the pipe. Okay, from there it will go to the outfall. Okay, or storage point, or directly it will be diverted to the river, right? So during low rainfall, flows will be well below the available capacity. But during very high rainfall, the flow may exceed the pipe capacity, inducing pressure flow and even surface flooding. Okay, so if it is a low rainfall, there is a no problem. So the pipe can easily carry the overland flow from the city. If it is a heavy rainfall, okay, so if the duration of the rainfall sometimes lasts 2 days continuously, and in such times, so it unable to carry the urban overland flow water. So therefore there will be a lot of pressure induced in the pipe, or sometimes the surface flooding may also occur. So that is the worst case. So for that case we will design the uh, pipe network, right? See here, I will tell you that the worst case may be the 100-year return period. Okay, the 100-year return period means, you know what is return period? So the magnitude of the rainfall may equal to or exceed to that value that occur once in 100 years, right? So that is the highest. If we take the 200 years, so that magnitude of the 200-year return period rainfall is much higher. So therefore, if you design 100-year return or 200-year return period uh, magnitude of the rainfall, so you will have a large diameter. Okay, and that will occupy sometimes maybe the entire roads also. So therefore, so generally for designing the urban drainage system, so 100, 200 will not be considered. Only 5 or 4, 5, 10 or 2. So small return period will be considered, right? Right. So the magnitude and frequency of rainfall is unpredictable and cannot be known in advance. So how our drainage system is designed? Because we don't know the rainfall and we don't know the frequency. So therefore, how you will design? You will design is accomplished by first choosing a suitable design storm. The physical property of the storm contributing area must then be quantified. So first we have to, uh, calculate the design storm, right? And then physical properties of the storms contributing area must then be quantified. Then what is the area? Okay. A number of methods of varying degree of sophistications have been developed to estimate the runoff flows resulting from the rainfall. Okay. So first you have to calculate the design storm, and for that design storm you have to calculate the runoff. Okay. Once you calculate the runoff, there are various methods are there. Once you calculate the runoff, you know the what is the quantity or volume of runoff collected from the urban entire catchment. So therefore, to dispose this amount of runoff, what should be the diameter of the your pipe, right? So the following characteristics of a contributing area: physical area, shape, slope, softness, wetness, and storage. These, the catchment area and land use are the most important for good prediction of stormwater runoff. Okay, so these, what is the physical characteristics of the catchment? Is the area of the catchment and the shape of the catchment, right? A slope of the catchment, what are the soil type of the catchment, and what is the land use land cover of the catchment, and roughness and wetness and storage. So these are the very, very important physical characteristics of the catchment while calculating the runoff from the catchment, right? Because it has some effect. Okay, if the soil type is, say, for example, is a clay soil, where clay soil, the infiltration capacity is less compared to the sandy soil. So therefore, the overland flow will be more. If it is the sandy soil, infiltration capacity will be relatively high. Uh, Therefore, the overland flow is very less, right? And the slope, if it is a hilly area, slopey area, so therefore the time of concentration will be less. Okay, so the infiltration capacity will be less in case of a slopey area, because whatever the rain falls on the upper area will reach the outlet immediately, because there is a slope is there. With the gravity, it will flow quickly, so therefore infiltration will be less. Shape also affects. If it is in a there is a two types of shape of the catchment is there. One is the fan shaped, one is the fan shaped, right? So if it is a narrow shape, so narrow shape, you can say, uh, if it is a narrow shape, then the base of the hydrograph will be relatively high. The peak is less. If it's a round shape, and then the peak will be high and the base will be less, right? The land use land cover. If it is an urban area, where the infiltration is less, okay, the peak will be more. If it is a agriculture area, then the peak is relatively less, okay, and the base will be more, right? So therefore, these characteristics of the catchment also affects the runoff. So therefore, it is very important. First of all, you have to assess the physical characteristics of the catchment. Catchment area measurement. The boundaries of the complete catchment to be drained can be defined with the reasonable precision, either by field survey or use of contour maps, right? So how do you do it? So there are latest softwares are there. Once you have a DEM, digital elevation model, and if you identify any point of outlet, so for that outlet, it will give you automatically the entire boundary of the catchment. So we used to do when this type of software were not available. we used to do demarcate the catchment using the contour maps in a Survey of India topo sheets. Okay, we will demarcate the edge line, right? Uh, so now latest techniques are there. You need not worry. Once you have a digital elevation model, then you give the outlet point, right? So then it will give you automatically the boundary of the catchment, right? After the preliminary sewer layout has been the catchment can be divided up. Okay, so once the catchment is identified, the entire catchment can be divided into, right? The sub area can then be best packages, right? Aerial photographs may also be used, right? So that can also be done if you have a different outlets, right? And then it will give the subcatchment also automatically in GIS, right? Otherwise, you have to do it manually and calculate the area of the subcatchment using the plan new meter, right? So if you know the GIS, so automatically it will give the all area of the catchment and the perimeter of the catchment, all those things will be automatically calculated. Land use. Once the total catchment area has been defined and type of surface that will drain into the system. So once the total catchment area has been defined, estimates must be made of the extent and type of surface that will drain into the system. Then you have to see the, I mean, land use, land cover. So where the pervious area there, where is impervious areas there, where is the urban area, where is the dry, water bodies there, where is the agriculture, where is the forestry, where is the uh, barren land, all those things you have to you have to prepare a thematic layer, either supervised classification or unsupervised classification, using any image processing software like Eradas or Ilvis, whatever it may be. Okay, and the percentage imperviousness of each area is measured by defining impervious surface of roads, roofs, and other paved surface. Measurements can be done manually from maps or automatically from aerial photograph. Right. So there is a formula to calculate the percentage of impermeable area, that is PIMP, is equal to 6.4 is the housing density, that is the number of houses per hectare, so dwellings per hectare. So if you know that number of houses per hectare, and then if you substitute in that formula, you will get the PIMP 100. Okay. Otherwise, you can use this table, right? If it is a dense commercial area, PMP is 100. But open commercial 65, a dense housing 55, flats 50, and medium housing 45, open housing 35. If it is a grassland less than 10, woodland less than 10. Okay. So this can also be used in the case if you do not have this data, right? Uh, so this is the how what is the dense housing look like, flats is look like. So these are the some of the figures, right? So time of concentration. What is the time of concentration? Is an important term used in the storm sewer design. Is the time of concentration. It is defined as the time required for surface runoff to flow from the remotest part of the catchment area to the point under consideration. Right? As I said, the time of concentration, let us say, you know, the Godavari catchment, it starts from the Maharashtra, let us say Nasik, right? So, uh, of course, some are part of the Karnataka, some part of the Telangana, Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh, and Orissa, Andhra. So this all comes under the uh, Godavari catchment. Right? Say, for example, if rain falls on Nasik, that is Maharashtra. So that rain will takes 2 or 2 days to reach the Dhavaleshwaram point. Okay, so therefore the time of concentration for that area is 2 days. Okay, so if rain falls on Bhadrachalam area, so that will area, I mean that runoff will meet the river near Bhadrachalam. So that water may come after 1 day at Dhavaleshwaram. So therefore the time of concentration is 1 day. Okay, so this is what time of concentration means. Okay, so each point in the catchment has its own time of concentration. It has two components in case of a urban drainage system, namely the overland flow time, known as the time of entry, and the channel or sewer flow time. So that is the time of flow. Okay. So time of entry, how much time it takes to enter into the pipe system. Okay. So that is a TE. And the time of flow, how much time it flow into the pipe. So that is a TF. So the total TE plus TF is equal time of concentration. So the time of entry will vary with catchment. So as I said, if it is a uh, sandy soil, so the time of entry will be relatively less because the overland flow, the velocity of the overland flow is slow because infiltration will be more. If it is a clay soil where the infiltration capacity is less, so therefore the overland flow, the velocity of the overland flow will be relatively high. So therefore the time of entry is, reverse case. If the velocity of the overland flow is high, the time of entry will be less, right? If it is a sandy soil where the infiltration capacity is relatively high, then the overland velocity of the overland flow is slow. Therefore, the time of entry is high. Okay. So, what is the time of entry? Time of entry vary with the catchment characteristics such as surface roughness, slope, length of flow path, together with the rainfall characteristics. Right. So, rainfall characteristics in the sense that if the intensity is very high, intensity means what is intensity? So 2 centimeters per hour or 4 centimeters per hour is the intensity, right? If the intensity is low, very low, so that is a 1 mm per hour, and then the whatever rain falls on the earth, it will go as infiltration, because if the rainfall intensity is equal to the infiltration capacity, there will not be no overland flow. If the rainfall intensity is higher than the infiltration capacity, then there will be a overland flow, right? So therefore, if the intensity is very high, overland flow will be uh, overland flow will be there. Then the time of entry will be less. Okay, if the intensity is very less, then the time of entry will be more. Okay, so that's how the rainfall characteristics also affects the time of entry. Okay, and the time of flow. Velocity of flow in the sewer can be calculated from the hydraulic properties of the pipe. Okay, so the time of flow is depending upon the hydraulic properties of the pipe. Okay, if the roughness, okay, if the roughness is more, then the time of flow is smooth. Okay, if the joints are there, more joints, the time of flow will be less. If no joints, the time of flow will be more. Okay, so if joints are there, the time of flow will be. So in general, say if it is a written period, one in case of the absence of those data, so you can assume like this also. For 1 year written period, the time of entry you can assume as 4 to 8 minutes. When if it is a 5 years written period, it is 3 to 6. See, look, if the written period is very high, I mean, if written period is increasing, it means what? The magnitude of the rainfall storm is high. Okay, the for a higher magnitude, the time of entry will be less. The lower magnitude of the rainfall, the time of entry will be high. So that's why if the written period is increasing, look at this year, the time of entry will be decreasing. Okay, right? Steady state runoff. Considered a simple, flat, fully impervious rainfall I falls in a time t. If there were also an impervious wall along the edges of the catchment and no sewer, this rain would simply build up over the area to a depth of I. So just I'm calculating if it is a study, let us say a steady state has reached, right? And it just like if you take a rectangular iron box, and then rain falls over in that box, okay, and the depth of the water in the box is, let us say, I, area of the box is A, then what is the volume? IA. Okay, IA is the volume. Now imagine that the runoff is flowing into sewer into inlet at a point X with the steady state condition. Water is landing on the area and flowing away at the same rate. The sewer will carry the volume of rain, okay, at a steady constant rate over the time t of rainfall. So the flow rate Q is equal to IA by T. IA is the volume of water collected over the catchment, and T is the uh, uh, constant rate over the time steady state. Then the Q can be calculated IA by T. Okay, Q is equal to IA by T. Okay, so I by T is what? Intensity. Let us say it is this is a capital I, this is, let us say, small I. Okay, no, I think this is L, let us say you can say L. So L by T is equal to I. So therefore Q is equal to IA. Okay, so this is for what? If it is 100% imperviousness, there is no loss of water, no infiltration, no percolation, no water flowing outside the boundary. So for that case, I. But in practical, there is some perviousness is there. Okay, therefore some infiltration is there. So therefore you introduced a constant, okay, C. So therefore Q is equal to CIA. Okay, so adjusting for commonly used units. This is for FPS system, let us say for commonly used system. So where Q is equal to 2.7 CIA. So Q is the maximum flow rate, so the liter per second, and I is the rainfall intensity, mm per hour, and A is the catchment area. So this is a rational method. So you can use this formula for calculating the volume of runoff for a design storm in a urban drainage system, right? If you know the drainage I, so that is a drainage, design storm I, and then you know the area of the catchment. If you know the C, you know how to calculate the C. C is percentage of impervious area divided by 100. If that, right? So then C can be calculated, and then I is the design storm intensity, and A is the area of the catchment. Then you will get the Q. Okay, so that is the volume of water accumulated at the over the urban area can be calculated using this rational method formula. Okay, intensity to be used for the design purpose. The rainfall intensity that caused the catchment to operate at steady state need to be known. This should give the maximum flow from the catchment reaches a steady state when the duration of concentration of the area. Okay, so what does that mean? That the critical intensity is when the so the see the rational method states that a catchment just reaches steady state when the duration of the storm is equal to the time of concentration of the area. When the duration of the storm is equal to the time of concentration of the area, then it is reaches a critical rainfall, or you can say the steady state is reached. Okay, so For this case, like this. Duration is less here, okay, and therefore you will have a peak, and then it falls. So if the rainfall continues here, and then your hydrograph will be like this. So so when it will be like this when the duration of the rainfall is more than this TC. Okay, so if it is equal, this is the point. Okay, where at this point it reaches the steady state condition, right? So let's have see a small example. New housing estate is to be drained by a separate storm sewer network. The estate is a rectangular plan, 1200 by 900 meter, and will consist of approximately 30% paved and roofed surface. Determine the maximum capacity required of the sewer carrying storm from the whole area. The longest branch leading to this point is 1350 meter, and average velocity is given 1.5 meter per second, and time of entry is given 4 minutes. Okay, so you look at so here time of concentration is can be calculated like this. EC is equal to 4 plus uh, this is what 1350 divided by 1.5 into 60. Okay, that's a 19 minutes. So this intensity so that can be calculated using IDF curves. If you have a IDF curve, from that you will can determine the intensity. So that you will see later. So okay, there is a formula is there for calculate the intensity. Okay, so PMP is given 30%. So so therefore C is equal to C is equal to uh, Q is equal C is equal to zero point 0.3, right? Now Q is equal to CIA, and substitute all those values. Q will be 2.34 meters per second. Okay. Okay. So this is how you can calculate the Q value, right? Let us see the design criteria. It is a good practice to follow a number of basic criteria during the design process. That capacity, storm saver should be designed to convey the predicted peak flow. It is conventional to design the pipe to just run full. Okay, for example, d by d is equal to 1, right? So that the depth of water diameter of the pipe should be equal to 1, but not such as. Okay, the small extra capacity that can be achieved is designed to achieve self is achieved by ensuring a specific velocity is reached at the design flow. Okay, minimum velocity is 1.0 meters per second. Gradient are manipulated together to obtain the best design. So how you can velocity, how do you calculate the velocity using say for example there is a different formulas are there like Chezy's formula, Manny's formula. If it is a Manny's formula, V is equal to 1 by n r to the power of 2 by 3 s to the power of half. Okay, so therefore you have to adjust the gradient of the pipe and diameter in order to obtain the minimum velocity, right? For sewer design, for capacity with long return period, storms generally 10 years here. A more conservative approach is to design for self-cleaning with more frequent event. Okay, for 1 year, right? A roughness. will be slimming is not a major issue.
సార్ మీ వాయిస్ కట్ అయిపోతుంది
So
సార్.
recommended
హలో
KS value is equal to 0.6
హలో సార్.
mm.
సార్.
For storm water. Okay. Now is it okay?
హలో
Hello.
సార్ మీ వాయిస్ అసలు వినిపించట్లేదు, కట్ అయిపోతుంది సార్.
నీ వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తా ఉంది బాగా నాకు. ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుందా?
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Hello. Okay.
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
So the design method. Okay, ma. So the design method is it's simple. First, you have to assume a design rainfall return period. So as I said, it is a 2-year return period, 4 or 5 or 6 or 10, and the pipe roughness K, and the time of entry, and the volumetric runoff coefficient. Right. So time of entry can be calculated. Formulas are there. C also can be calculated. Formulas are there. So if you know, so if you assume, say for example, if you want to design the storm for 5-year return period, so then I can be calculated. There is a formula is there, and then after calculating the all those things, you will get the Q value, right? Prepare a preliminary layout of sewers, including tentative inlet locations. So take a, I mean a drawing, a paper, and then just prepare a rough layout. Okay. Mark pipe numbers on the plan according to the conventional procedure, and estimate the impervious area of each pipe. Okay. So as I said, the entire area is divided into number of subcatchments. For each subcatchment, let us say you have one pipe to drain that water collected in the subcatchment. So in that catchment, subcatchment, you know what is the impervious area that can be calculated. So make a first attempt at setting gradient and diameter of each pipe. Assume a gradient and assume a pipe diameter, and then calculate the pipe full velocity. Okay. So as I said, how do you calculate this velocity VF? VF can be calculated using a Manis formula. Okay. Right. And then once you calculate the VF, and then we have already assumed the diameter of the pipe, and then what is the flow rate in the pipe? QF is equal to Q is equal to VA, right? And calculate the time of concentration from each equation for downstream pipes. Compare alternative feeder branches and select the branch results in the maximum TC, and read rainfall intensity from IDF curves for T is equal to TC, and design storm is equal to T. Then you will get the I value. Estimate the cumulative contributing impervious area and calculate the Q. Okay. If QP, QP should be less than QF, and V maximum is greater than VF. VF is also greater than V minimum. Okay. If this condition is not satisfied, and you repeat the procedure. Okay. I will repeat the procedure, how to design, right? So listen carefully. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Audible.
Yeah, it will be like this. Let us say, for example, say let us say this is the subcatchment, for example. Okay. This is the subcatchment. So for this subcatchment, your assume, let us say this is the your drainage pipe. Okay. Generally drainage pipes are laid along the road network. Okay. This is your drainage pipe, right? So assume a diameter of this pipe and assume a gradient of this pipe. a slope gradient, right? So then therefore you can calculate the velocity for a given pipe, for a given gradient. You can calculate the velocity using the Manish formula. V is equal to 1 by n r to the power of 2 by 3 s to the power of half. R is what? R is equal to a by p. Okay. What is s? S is the longitudinal gradient. So once you calculate the v, and then uh, you know the diameter of the pipe, and then you can calculate the cross section of the pipe, that is a. So a into v is equal to q. So what we did so far, so this pipe can carry this much amount of water maximum. So that is what is that? QF. That is what QF is. Understood? This part is you got this
Yes, sir.
point? Okay. Now how do you calculate the QP? QP can be calculated using the rational method. So what is formula? Q is equal to CIA, right? What is A? A is the area of the sub catchment, so that you can calculate A. What is I? I is the intensity. How do you calculate the intensity? From the IDF curves for a given T is equal to TC, time of concentration. Okay. And then for a design storm T, then you can calculate the design, intensity of the design storm. Okay. That I is calculated. Okay. How do you calculate the TC? There is a formula is there for TC. Otherwise, there is a table is there for different land use pattern. If it is a density houses, if it is a space houses, depends upon the written period. TC is also there. So for a given TC, for a given design storm, I can be calculated from the IDF curves. Okay. So then what is C? Then C is the coefficient. So that is what? Imperviousness, percentage of imperviousness. So if this is the say for example it is a 50% imperviousness is there in your subcatchment. Okay. Then what is C is equal to 0.5. Okay. Then Q is equal to CIA. So therefore Q can be calculated. So that Q should be less than the QF. So this is QF is what? So the flow, the pipe can carry maximum discharge. This. Okay. Then overland flow, okay, is Q. Okay. This should be less than this one. So therefore it can safely go into the pipe. If this value is more than QF, what is that? Pipe cannot, the capacity of the pipe is not able to carry the full discharge. Therefore the flooding occur in that catchment area. So therefore what you have to do, you have to redesign. Either you have to increase the slope, longitudinal slope gradient, or you can increase the diameter of the pipe. Okay. So that's the repetition procedure till you will get this condition. Okay. And also velocity, calculate the velocity. It should be more than the v minimum, let us say 1 meter per second if it is a drainage system. So if your vf should be more than this value. Why? That is a self cleaning procedure. Okay. If your velocity of the drain is more than that 1 meter per second, so therefore it automatically clean all debris deposited in the pipe. Okay. So that also you have to check whether your velocity either are more than the v minimum or less than the v maximum. Okay. So if these two conditions if you attain, your design is correct. Otherwise you have to redesign it. So that is how we do manually. Okay. Now we have different softwares are available, like storm water drainage system something. There are a number of softwares are available. So all these all based on this concept only. Okay. So hope you understand this design procedure. If you have any questions, please ask. వినిపిస్తుందా నా వాయిస్?
సార్ ఎస్ సార్.
మీకు డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగమ్మా. ఏం డౌట్ లేదా? హలో,
సార్
ఏం డౌట్ లేదా అంటున్నాను ఈ డిజైన్ ప్రొసీజర్లో.
అర్థమైంది సార్.
అర్థమైందా? ఆల్ ఎనీబడి? సింపులే కదా డిజైన్. ఓకే, జిఏఎస్ నేర్చుకుంటున్నారా మీరు?
సార్ ఇంక ల్యాబ్ స్టార్ట్ చేయలేదు.
మీరు ఓన్గా కూడా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు.
ఎస్ ఆర్జిఎస్.
ఏదైనా సరే, ఆర్జిఎస్ అయినా, ఎనీ వన్, QGIS అయినా. QGIS is a open source software. You can freely download, and all tutorials, you can find tutorials in YouTube.
సార్ విచ్
Tutorials.
యాప్ సార్?
Huh?
యాప్ సార్ క్యూబ్ ఆర్జిఎస్ సార్.
QGIS, Quantum GIS.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, it is an open source software. You need not to pay a single pie. You can officially download. RGS is a paid package, you have to pay. But of course, pirated software is available. Okay, officially, if you want to publish a paper and for anything, you can do any even consultancy work also, QGIS. No need to buy ArcGIS. So all functions are available in QGIS also. Okay, either ArcGIS or QGIS, whatever, both concept are same, but maybe the graphical interface of the softwares are different, but the functionality is the same. Okay, ఒకటి వస్తే రెండోది ఈజీయే, బికాస్ అంతా ఒకటే కదా, కాన్సెప్ట్ అంతా ఒకటే. ఓకే, జిఐఎస్ నేర్చుకోండి, బికాస్ ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేయాలంటే జిఐఎస్ కావాలి. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ నేను సాఫ్ట్వేర్ గురించి చెప్తాను. దట్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ SWMS, స్టామ్ వాటర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ సిస్టమ్. ఓకే, సో మీరు కూడా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ సింపుల్, right? You can take a small project also, take any area, Kakinada or Rajahmundry, and do this type of analysis. Very useful also. Okay, existing చూసేసి ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ నెట్వర్క్ చూసి దీన్ని క్రాస్ చెక్ చేయండి. ఓకే, సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఐ మీన్ దట్ సాటిస్ఫైయింగ్, అండ్ దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రీడిజైన్ ఇట్. ఓకే, అండర్స్టూడ్? అర్థమైందా?
ఎస్ సార్.
ప్రజెంట్ డయామీటర్ ఎంత ఉంది, స్లోప్ ఎంత ఉంది చూసుకుంటే దాని యొక్క మ్యాక్స్, యూ కెన్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద మ్యాక్సిమం carrying capacity of that pipe, that is a discharge, and for that subcatchment area you calculate the Q and check that. Okay, adakku check cheste saripotundi. So it is very interesting and it is very useful also. So this is very much needed in these days, because you know a lot of cities are flooding even for small amount of rain, and it causes so many problems, economical problem or health problems. Okay, so you try to take any one case study and do this one. Even velocity also, velocity calculate cheyచ్చు kada, using Mannish formula or any formula, and see less than 1 unda. If it is more than 1 unte, so it is a cleansing, so automatically cleaning the. If it is less than 1, then Either you have to increase the pipe diameter or slope, right? So this is very simple. Okay, you just బుక్ చూడండి. నేను చెప్పాను కదా, ఫస్ట్ స్లైడ్లో చూపించాను. ఆ బుక్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. ఈ ప్రొసీజర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దాంట్లో ఉంది. ఇంకా డీటెయిల్గా ఉంటుంది. నేను జస్ట్ ఊరికే అబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్ తీసాను. సో గో ఇన్ టు ద డీటెయిల్, స్టడీ దట్ వన్, అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్ యూ విల్ డిస్కస్ ఇట్, రైట్? ఐ థింక్ అది అర్థమైంది కదా, ఈ ప్రొసీజర్, డిజైన్ ప్రొసీజర్.
అర్థం సార్.
Yes, yes, right. So only input here is what, how do you calculate the I? I is can be calculated using the IDF curves. So first city mere IDF curves you have to develop. Okay. So once you develop a IDF curves for a design star, for a design T, and it means return period T is design T, I can be calculated using IDF curves. Okay. So first you will assume the diameter gradient and then calculate the QF and then calculate the QP using the rational formula. Okay, and check this condition. Okay, so how do you calculate the QP? So for that I is required. So from the IDF curve you calculate the I, and A area of the catchment, and C is that depends upon the percentage of impervious. So ఆ మూడు గంట తెలిస్తే మీకు QP calculate చేయొచ్చు. So ensure that this QP should be less than QF. QF is the maximum carrying capacity of the pipe. So if this is not meeting, then you either increase the diameter or increase the slope. So okay, I will stop here. Okay.
Sir,
So,
afternoon.